Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. The world needs to hear your message and your story, so don't deny the world of that gift within you that the universe has given you. Someone out there needs to hear your story because it will support them in feeling hope, inspired, and even transformed. Do you want to discover how I help get my clients out of their own way, show up, and confidently share their message? I would love to extend an invitation to you to join me in my free masterclass, Start Your Own Podcast from Idea to Implementation, on Wednesday, April 5th at 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find the registry link in the show notes. Hope to see you there. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast. Today, I have a very special guest. I have Baroness Dr. Kara Scott Dentley. I am so happy and excited to have you here, Kara. Kara is a double scientist turned entrepreneur and success specialist. She's also an author, the founder of the lifestyle brand and athleisure wear, Life by Kara. And you and your husband, James, also founded a nonprofit organization called Already Always Amazing. You're also a wife and last but certainly not least, a mother. Kara, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here. I cannot wait to jump in. How you doing today?
Thank you. I am phenomenal.
You're always phenomenal. Are you ever not phenomenal?
There are moments, but they're fleeting because you get to tell yourself, I get to choose how I respond in this moment. It's not that big of a deal. Keep it moving.
Yeah.
You know, you laugh about it. I mean, some of the most craziest things, I just laugh it off. You know what? It is what it is. Keep it moving.
I love your attitude. Kara, you and I had the incredible opportunity to meet you back in October in Vegas at Tigo's The Power of Pink Now Honors. And I just have to say, I was blown away by your energy, your positivity, all that you are and all that you do. And I took so much away from that event. And one of the highlights was meeting you. So I am so grateful to be connected to you and to be able to call you a friend, Kara.
Same here, Brad. Genuinely, sincerely. Same here.
Thank you. So with all that being said, the Mutual Admiration Society that we got going on here, let's jump right in. Now, as I mentioned, I've known you for a short time, but I do know that you're one hell of a busy woman and you wear a lot of hats. So how do you find the time for all of this and how do you prioritize it? How important is prioritization and organization for you?
I mean, it's important, but not to the point where I'm like OCD, where I'm just like, oh my God, this has to be like this. And why is this over here? Because the world is moving. The world is shifting. Things happen. You take it one day at a time, one moment at a time. Of course, you plan and you do everything that you can to make sure all of the pieces are there. But sometimes the pieces don't fall in place. So sometimes you have a Scrabble board and you're like, what just happened? But in those moments, how do you deal with it? And that's when you just kind of take life as it is. So you organize, you intend for things to go a certain way, but when they don't, you just pivot. You do what's necessary in that moment.
I'm curious then, with you wearing so many hats, what does your morning routine look like?
I get my rest.
Yeah.
I get my rest. But that being said, I still wake up fairly early. It reminds me of when I was in school and I would take these intermittent naps. If I'm tired, if I can't mentally go any further or physically, I respond. I listen to my body. But that may mean that I'm up at 2:00 in the morning until 5 or 6. But I have the schedule and I have the flexibility and the freedom to do that. So my morning, some days I'm up from 3 until that evening, but I get my rest. And if there's something that I have scheduled, then I make sure the night before that I'm prepared for that next day. But I feel like I work best when I am responding to me. Less stress, more laid back. So
yeah, a lot of people don't listen to their bodies, and it's important that we should. Like you said, taking those naps, if you need them, there's nothing wrong with that. Naps are great.
Yeah, I remember I was in Spain. They would have their siestas just in the middle of the day. And I was like, this is one of the coolest things ever. Everything shuts down. You go take a walk, go swim, do whatever. But nothing happens from this time to this time.
Yeah.
Just for you to rejuvenate and just get your rest. And I was like, wow.
These people got it going on. They know what's going on.
They figured it out.
It's those Europeans. Yeah. They don't have that same North American culture where it's push, drive, hustle. They don't do that.
Stress.
Yeah, exactly. What drives, motivates, and inspires you to keep going and excelling at all that you do, Kara?
Life, breath, another day. It's the simplest things, right? But it's just that. It's, hey, I have another opportunity to do it again. But I think the beautiful thing is that I get to do what I desire, what I want to do. And I think that's a message for most people. If you are doing what makes your heart tick, if you are doing what drives you, there will be nothing to stop you. You will go full throttle at everything with excitement, with joy, and that will rub off on other people, and people will be happy to have you around doing whatever that thing is. I don't care what it is.
Yeah.
People would be happy to have you in their presence. And I think the key is find that thing that just lights you up, that makes you tick, and then just do it.
Okay, so this brings up something very important that I hear a lot from people is you say, and I agree with you, find that thing that lights you up. But you always hear people with the excuses of, well, I'm in this corporate job and I can't leave because of the money, because of the benefits, because of this, because of that. There's all these. So what do you say to those people when they come back at you, when you're talking to someone about this kind of thing?
That was
and
me.
Okay, so what do you say? What do you come back with?
You have when you've had enough. When you've had enough. And one of the things that worked for me, I stopped my spending. I started saving. I started investing, all while being in my federal job. And it wasn't that it was bad. It's just that my feeling towards it changed. And the time that you spend doing anything, that is your life because that's what you have. That's it. And I found myself just every day waking up like, you know? Yeah. And so I started putting things to the side. I had to make it make sense to me. And it got to the point where I was just like, I'm done. And some people feel like they have to get fired or they have to get in some type of squabble with someone at work. And sometimes it doesn't have to take any of that. And I encourage it to not take any of that because that's bad energy, bad vibes. You just leave when the time is right. And it felt like I was like cutting away from family when I left. But some of us have kept in touch here and there, happy holiday text messages and stuff like that. But, and of course, my last day, I was like, I'm going to come back down here and have lunch. I'm going to find you guys. Oh, I haven't found. What lunch? I said that. It's just no, but you know, I feel free. And so, yes, I do know that there are people out there that feel like they have what they call the golden handcuffs.
Yes.
What do I do with this? And some people are so far in, they're so knee deep in that they're like, they don't see an exit. They don't see an out. And I remember listening to a young lady. She was more mature. She was a CEO of her particular company, high profile, and she had broken her leg. I was reading this article and she was out for a couple of months. She started gardening and doing different things around the house. And she was like, this is what I want to do. She thought that was it. She could not, she had to go back. She put in her resignation. That was the end of that. I was like, if she can do it, this is before I quit.
Yeah.
And I say I retired because I can still get retirement benefits. But if she could walk away, I was like, psh. And I just remember that. Just hearing her story, and she never looked back either. So
if you could give people, listeners, one piece of advice that feel stuck in that have all those excuses, like, I can't leave this, it's not the right time, blah, 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 what would you say? One piece of advice.
It starts with the mindset. We hear that all the time, but if you feel like I can't leave, then you're not even giving yourself an opportunity. You're not even opening up potential possibilities for you to even be able to leave because you're telling every part of your body, your mind, your body, your spirit, I can't leave. So naturally, you're not going to even be open to finding ways to leave. You're not open to that, but you start telling yourself, no, I can't leave. I just have to figure it out. And that's what I just kept saying. I just have to figure it out. I'm not going to limit myself and feel like, oh, this is the end all be all because it was not. And it didn't take next week I'm out. It took years. It took some planning. And I actually used to have a board in my office where I wrote down like 288 and count down 285, you know.
Yeah.
Like, what's that number? I was like, oh, those are the amount of days before I leave. I didn't make it all the way down. I didn't get down to one and cross it out. No, I was at like 100 something. Gotta go. But I was prepared mentally and everything. And I was like, if not now, I'll never leave. It comes down to the individual. No one can tell you when that time is. And like I said, it wasn't that everything was all bad, but I planned, I started investing, I started making extra money on the side, and I started doing network marketing. I started making pretty good money with that. And I just started stacking my money. And I was like, if I can survive off of my money for the next couple of months, I'll figure it out. You know? And because I felt so free, there was so much available for me on the other side of that freedom.
As mentioned off the top, you are a double scientist, a physicist and a geospatial analyst. Can you share with us a little bit about the work you were doing as a scientist before you made the jump into entrepreneurship? And was there a catalyst moment for you in that job where you said, I got to get out. This is it. I have to do this now?
Well, while I was there, I worked with nuclear power plants on the federal government side. So you have Department of Homeland Security. We do everything on the outside of the nuclear power plant facilities. And then you have the Nuclear Regulatory Commission to do everything behind the fence, like within the confines of the nuclear power plants. If anything were to happen, how do we respond? So as a geospatial analyst, I would look at everything pertaining to that particular site. Who's impacted? How are they impacted? The vegetation, the economics, everything. How do we shelter in place, or do we just bust everybody out here? You know, how extreme is this event? And so I would do that for both drills as well as live events.
Okay.
You know, what does this look like? And I was actually the only person that did what I did for the nuclear power plants in my division. And so it was pretty amazing, really rewarding. Like I said, there was nothing wrong. But that pivotal moment came as a mom. I would have to travel to the different sites. It was beautiful. I would drive the government vehicle. I thought,
I'm rolling.
I was young. Black SUV. I was that girl with my suit on. Many times people would say, oh, you're the subject matter expert. You're the SME. You're here to speak on it. I'm like, yes, that would be me. You know? And they're like, okay. They thought I guess they thought I was somebody's assistant or something, but I would be the one. I was that girl. And I had a lot of fun with it. I was really close with all of my coworkers, but I just got to a point. I remember one time it is a lot of different moments. And I remember one time washing dishes, and my son, he was so little at the time, he would just come and lay at my feet. This is when I get to spend time with you, because I'm getting home late in the evening. And I remember just looking down and saying, this isn't spending time with me. But I was so busy. I had to do laundry, just stuff. And before I knew anything, I'm looking, it's bedtime again. And I'm like, this can't be life. And so that was a pivotal moment for me. And I just remember thinking, even when I was much younger, when I was the student, and I would always feel, I wish my parents could come and be a chaperone for me at my school for my field trips. But they were working. No fault to them. They were just working. But as a kid, I would see other people's parents come, and I was like,
where's mine?
Where's mine? Look, you can be a chaperone. She's, how?
I got work to do, girl.
And he's like, So just having those different experiences. And as a kid, you feel like your parents can do anything. I'm like, just don't go that day.
Yeah.
You know, like,
it don't work like that, Kara.
Right, it doesn't work like that. You know what? So just different things for me just played out in my mind that I'm like, this is not what I want. I want something different for my family. And that was a pivotal moment. Yep.
As mentioned at the beginning, you wear the title of Baroness. When were you knighted Baroness, and what's involved in that process? Like, how does one become a Baroness or a Dame or a Sir, and how did this come about for you?
Yeah, so it's coming up actually on 2 years now.
Wow.
Since the initial investiture that my husband and I both got knighted. And some people don't know, but he got knighted, but I also got knighted. So I wasn't like riding his coattail.
Right.
I got knighted because of my work in science, because my research is published all over the world. This is while I was in school.
Yeah.
And so I did a lot of research, heavy research. And so because of that, they honor people, and because of the service that we do across the board, throughout the world with our nonprofit. Of course, my husband, he received his in business, and we both got knighted. And based on that, but it's an elevated way of giving back on a global scale. And you have your mission, and you have your peers that operate at the level that you operate. And it's just a really amazing network.
Yeah, there were, at that event in October, there were a few of you that were ladies and dames. What are the differences between a lady, a dame, a baroness?
Good question. So Baroness and Baron, those are elevated titles based on leadership within the organization. For the Royal House of Cappadocia, the Royal Order of Constantine the Great and St. Helen.
Yes.
So there's the house, and then there's the order within the house, because there are several orders within the house. And so that's with the Baron and Baroness, that's within the organization that you elevate. And then there's Lady and Dame.
Okay.
And those are kind of interchangeable. So you could be a dame. That is the title of a knighted woman, a dame. Okay. So a dame could be called a lady, okay? But if you're married to a knight, you're also a lady.
Okay.
Right.
Excellent.
But dame is you are knighted on your own accord.
Okay. All right. Thank you for clarifying.
Your own merit.
Your own merit. Now, transitioning from the structured world of science to the unpredictable realm of entrepreneurship can be daunting. How did you navigate the uncertainties and challenges of starting your own business in the beginning stages?
And your network is everything. Your network and the places that you go and the people you surround yourself with, you have to be just intentional with it. You can't be around people that don't have that spirit of entrepreneurship. I learned so much. I have some friends, and of course, my husband. I just see how he navigates so smoothly across the board with different things. Where when I was working, it was like everything was on fire. Everything was an emergency. Everything was a catastrophe.
Yeah.
So-and-so isn't here today. I have to take their role and my role. Everything was something, because if you don't really have that grit to just say, we just have to get it done, you start to learn that being around people that's just, everything is so matter of fact, so get it done, figure it out. And you have to be around people that speak that into you. Because, when you're around people that are working, their mindset is just different.
Yes, it is.
I promise you it is. I mean, you go to the boss when you need pencils. There are no more pens in the break room because we're out of coffee. But when it's you and something like I've seen and had some things where I'm like, what? How does that even happen? And I had to tell myself it's not that big of a deal. Figure it out. Fix it. So why are you getting emotional about something so small? And so I would see my husband. I would see some of my closest friends that just roll over stuff that I was just like, what? Like, I guess that's just how it rolls. But, you start to adapt really quickly. Okay. So really personal development is very huge. That's in any area of your life. I see it more so with entrepreneurs that are really working hard. That's first and foremost. The books are like, oh God, that's the Holy Grail. Somebody recommend a book. I have to get it. People, especially people that you admire, people who are advisors, mentees, mentors and mentees, because it goes both ways. Yeah. Where they're like, you get this book, take a look at it. And you see it all the time. And there are so many people that I know who are just totally oblivious. Yeah. You mention a book, they're like, read a book. And it's right, read it. Last time I read a book, because of the emotion that they attach to it, because of when they were reading books in school, they're like,
I don't want to read this, but I have to read it. Yeah.
Right. Is my life dependent on it? Well, maybe. Being what you're trying to do. So I would say definitely environment and just being intentional with how you spend your time. Yeah,
going to events like the Power of Pink, the Now Honors. I mean, it's been how long now? 6-7 months since that event. And I cannot stop thinking about how powerful that event was, meeting people like you, Kara, and the energy in that room for that weekend was unbelievable. I've said this many times, but I have never experienced anything like that in my life. I left that event a different man than I was when I first got to Vegas because of all of you and the energy in that room, and just being in that space where seeing all of you women together, the sisterhood among all of you was so inspiring. It was incredible.
That's a testament to Tigo bringing us all together. Many of those people who were there, like you mentioned, the night of the dames and the ladies, they come from Limitless. Our event, and when Tigo brought us all back together, people wouldn't miss that opportunity because of what transpired. When we have our events, it's the same thing. It's a whole nother level.
It is.
Because there are activities that you're doing, and there are certain things that are said that like kind of connect you with people. But you can't deny that level of energy where people are like, yo, I'm not in this by myself. There are people that get me. There are people who just vibe with me on a level that you don't get that if you're sitting in the house by yourself.
Yeah.
You're not going to get that. You're not going to get that at every event, because every event is really, it depends on the person putting it together.
For sure. The people attending.
And the people attending, the intention behind the event. And when you're bringing people together the way that she did to just honor people, because it affects, of course, the person that's honoring the person.
Yeah.
It helps their serotonin levels. It also helps the person that's receiving it. But when people see other people get honored, it raises their serotonin levels too.
For sure.
So it's just one of those, just a love fest.
That's it. That is it. And that one thing that sticks out the most for me was something that you said during your talk, and that was, there's another level with your name on it. And you repeated that throughout the course of the weekend, but hearing you speak that and the emotion and the passion behind your talk and saying that, it rung such a bell with me, and it stuck with me, and it's in my heart always. And I always will remember that, but it was so powerful, so powerful.
Thank you.
You are another level, Carrie. You truly are. Just amazing.
Thank you. Thank you. You are too, Brad.
Thank you.
That's why we're here. That is why we're here.
Yes, for sure. What were a couple of the biggest challenges you faced during your transition into entrepreneurship, and how did you overcome them?
Some of it was putting stress on myself. This has to go like this. This has to go like that. But no, it does not have to go like that. It does not have to go like this. And being in a place where I'm like, I have to do all of this. No, you don't. The best thing is to find other people who do that thing very well, to fill the gaps, because you're not going to be good at every single thing. Even though you start out where you're like juggling this and juggling that, but then you have someone step in and say, I could manage the social media. I could actually get those labels printed from my house for you. Just like, you could? So being open to just saying, okay, I can't do it all. And yes, bringing other people in to assist me and help me in these areas that this is what they do.
Yeah.
And my husband and I, we have that conversation all the time. I'm like, you have people that do things, and then you have other people that this is what they do.
Yeah.
You know, I tell my mom, we laugh about it all the time. I'm like, I could build a house, but that's not what I do. I'm sure if I read enough manuals, but that's not what I do.
Yeah.
So you find people that say, no, this is what I do. This makes my heart tick.
Yeah.
Right. And you hire that person to do those things because they'll do it better than you ever could.
Well, when you stay in your lane and focus on that and focus on what fills your heart, what lights you up, that also frees up the other things for other people. So you're helping give other people work as well, because it gives them the opportunity to step in and focus on their lane of expertise. It helps everybody.
Yeah. I felt like that when I left my job. I was like, this is somebody else's job. I got to that point where I was like, I need to free up this space so that someone else can come in here and that's excited to get this job, that want this job, they're praying for this job. They can't sleep because they want it. So
yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you just have to know when that is.
That's right. As a scientist turned entrepreneur, how do you leverage your scientific background in your entrepreneurial ventures, and how does it shape your approach to problem solving and innovation?
Oh, beautiful question. I live a scientific life. Everything is scientific to me. Everything is like I look at patterns. So that was part of my research, pattern recognition. And so there are just different scientific laws that are always at work. And I tell people all the time, laws they're not theories. They're not questioned. You think about like the law of gravity, the law of motion. An object in motion stays in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. You look at these and these are actual laws. It's not a question of it. It is what it is. And so that's part of what I actually put in my book. So I still speak the language. I still feel the language. I talk to other people about different scientific principles where they're like, And what I'm realizing is that I'm not telling you anything that you don't know. I'm actually resonating with something that's already in you. I feel like we're all scientists. We just kind of forgot along the way.
Like a lot of things in life.
Yeah, along the way. But I think we look at it in different perspectives. So I'm always weaving it in. Oh, wow. Just looking at patterns, behavior patterns, weather patterns, looking at how health disparities are spread across different parts of the world based on where you live. It can have a direct impact on your health. Of course, there's the way that you personally feel about certain things that have a direct impact on your health. So I'm always looking at, if this, then what? Like in just scientific, breaking it down scientifically. What do we know? What do we have to work with? What are we missing? What equations do we have? What patterns are we looking at? And then come up with the solution. We do it all the time.
In what ways do you aim to make a positive impact through your work as an entrepreneur and success specialist? What drives you to create meaningful change in the lives of others?
The fact that we're here now is a privilege. to be here. There are no big I's, no little U's. We're all here with our own individuality, which is a beautiful thing. It's like a tapestry of just love. It's a tapestry of God. If you put all of us together, it's like, look at this, right? Come over here. Look at this. And I just feel like, like you were saying, like when you put the right people in the room, it's beautiful. It's like harmony. It's like music. Yeah. It's just beautiful because there's some things that I know. There's some things that you know. There are some things that experience has taught you. There's some things that experience has taught me, that when you bring all of that together, it's look at what we get to create. Look at what we get to do while we're here. I don't want to waste my time on earth doing things that are just nonsense. And that doesn't mean not having fun, but I'm not going to waste it on anything low vibration or low. You have to know what that is. You have to know it. Your body knows it. Your body can pick it up. I promise you. There's certain time. If you're I know you didn't ask me this. If you're in a situation, somebody call your phone and you feeling like, I do not want to answer that. That is your body identifying already that low vibration. There are certain places you just don't want to go. That is your body knowingly telling you that is low vibration. And it doesn't mean that the person is low vibration. They're exuding a low vibrational frequency, and they could elevate it if they choose to. But you don't want to surround yourself with that because it's energy transfers. That's another law. That's not what Kara said. That's a law.
And it's what Kara said.
That is what Kara said. Because energy is neither created nor destroyed. It's transferred. And you want to make sure that you just surround the right people that's saying, how can I help you win? What are we doing today? Lift your head up. Put a smile on your face. It's not that bad. Let's keep it moving. It's so necessary. I know.
Kara, I have to ask, is this, I mean, again, having met you back in October and seeing you interact with people and that positivity just oozes out of your pore. Have you always been like that? Has that always been who you are? Even as a kid, was that who you were?
For the most part, yep. I would try to identify the best parts of somebody. Just like, this person is cool. And you go somewhere and you don't even realize it. Most kids have it until life happens or someone says something to them, and it lowers their vibration. It weakens their spirit in those moments. And then the more over time, as these things are said to a child, or they've seen things, or they're getting these different experiences, it can weaken their vibration. And so you see kids at the park, they'll just find other kids. They don't need an introduction. They see kids running. They're like, yo, I need to go run with those kids. Yeah. And they'll even say, those are my friends. My son used to say that. We'll go to the park and because they were the same size. He's like, those are my friends. I'm going to play. Do you know those kids? I'm like, you've never seen those kids. But I think innately we all feel that way until the judgment comes and all of these different things that are just like, where is that coming from? It's that competitive spirit. Some of it is when you're in school, I got the A, you got the B. I'm smarter than you. I'm first in line and whatever. Like, we're all first in line for something. Yeah. So as a kid, I used to look and I used to feel bad for people for certain things. Like, that's not fair. Yeah. You know? I did what was that test? But I remember one of my traits was I was an includer. Yeah, I was like, an includer. Okay, yeah, I am an includer. I want to include everybody because I know what it feels like sometimes to not be included. You know, everybody's picking and one kid that's not picked. I would feel bad for the kid that wasn't picked. Like, you could come be on our team.
Come join us.
Yeah, come join us because everybody wants to be included, right?
For sure.
We all do.
I love it. I love your energy, your attitude. It's so infectious. It really is. I can't help when I'm on a call with you or, again, being in the room, you can't help but be positive because of your energy, the energy you give off, the vibe you give off. It's just amazing. It really is. I love it. I love talking to you, Kara.
Thank you, Brad. Same here.
Now, as a success specialist, how do you empower your clients to overcome obstacles and unlock their potential and achieve their goals?
Man, you'll be amazed at just what spoken word, speaking into somebody's heart, speaking life into their spirit. People will hold on to things that you said and how you made them feel. for their life. It becomes a part of them. And if people really understood that what you say to a person becomes a part of them, and not just you, but everybody, we rub off on one another. The things that we see become a part of us. If I told you right now, and I include this in my book.
There it is.
My commercial break. But I say, if I tell you to close your eyes and to envision a balloon, a happy birthday balloon, you will more than likely envision a balloon that you've seen because it has become a part of you. It becomes a part of your cellular memory. It may be that you have individual letters that says happy birthday, an H, an A, a P, a Y. You have all of these letters, or it may be one big foil balloon with happy birthday. It may be block letters. It may be gold. It may be black. It may be colorful. It may have candles. It may something that you've seen. And so I make sure that when I'm speaking to people, I'm speaking life. I'm giving you something that you can hold on to. So even whether we're talking about life skills or something that will help them get over a situation or to see past, to see beyond the situation is what it is. Or if we're working out together, because I still have my hula hoop class, I'm inspiring them because they'll know if I'm like, you still don't have it? Honey, you'll never get it. Now, for some people, they feel like that'll work, but you have to have a certain type of person that will press past that. But I just feel I'm not going to speak anything into somebody so that they can say, well, I'm going to show her. Oh, you can do it. I know you can do it. Give it a few more swings. I'm going to pay attention to your positioning. Yeah. Come on, you got it. I know you can do it. I know you can do it. It's mindset. A lot of it is if a person is continuously telling themselves, I've never been able to hula hoop, and then they go to spin it. And I'm like, you keep telling yourself that you've never been able to hula hoop. So why are you going to be able to do it now?
Yeah.
So you have to tell yourself, I'm going to get it. And many times, most of the time, I would say 99.9% of the time, once a person starts to tell themselves, I got it, I can do it. Sometimes people just need to be reaffirmed. You get that from other people speaking life into you.
Beautifully said. I love that. Success, of course, again, keeping on this path of mindset, hinges on mindset. How do you cultivate a positive and resilient mindset, especially during challenging times? And can you share a couple of mindset practices or techniques with the audience that you rely on that have helped you?
I breathe. We all think that we breathe, but I do intentional breathing because that releases, you have oxygen. You need oxygen. Death is actually the lack of oxygen, right?
Yeah.
To anything, you cut off oxygen, everything starts to deteriorate. So I intentionally, if something is going on, I take time. I go take a walk, get some fresh air. And it's the most simplest things that we overlook. I always have something to reach back to, because I'm always reading something. So it may be a story, or there may be something that I'm like, I remember such and such had the same similar situation. And they were able to get past it. And so when you hear that, you may not remember the stories verbatim, but you do remember that they got past it. And you continue to you hinge yourself on those particular stories. And even in your own life, right? For you and then for myself in my own life, different things that I've overcome, that I've gotten past. But hey, if I did it then, I do it now. And of course, having some form of a spiritual foundation. And I'm not going to tell anybody what that should look like, because we are all on our own walk. But having some means of just, some people have prayer, meditation. I almost said medication.
Medication.
When people have that too.
Some people do.
Hilarious. But, having some form of reprieve where some people have people that they can talk to, advisors, mentors, and having that network of people where you have people that help to kind of slingshot you back into place, where you're just like, where you can't have moments of those downward spirals for too long. People that help to uplift you and say, I just know that's not Brad talking like that. Brad, we don't talk like that.
Yeah. It always comes back to people, doesn't it? Always comes back to our network and our community.
When people say, I don't like people, and I'm a loner, that's because they're looking through their current situation, through some experience that has happened. And it's not to say that will happen again. And you have to give yourself grace and open up, but you have to, of course, be more conscious and just listen to yourself when your body gives you signals. But we need each other.
Yes, absolutely. We can't do this thing called life alone.
What? You can't create another life alone.
No,
okay?
exactly.
Start
there. You go. Yeah, that's it. That's the starting point right there. Exactly. You can't. It's impossible.
You need some other stuff going on. Nowadays, they have stuff you can put in the lab. I get it. But hey, you still need some other.
That's right. That's right.
Okay. So with that being said, we do need each other to continue to go forward. So for those people that are out there listening and you're like, especially since COVID, some folks are just boxed in. And there are times I drive down down the street and I'm like, I wonder how many people are in their homes that just haven't been out, don't want to go out. That's a quick way to death, destruction. Mm-hmm. You have to get out, but you have to find your tribe.
For sure.
You have to find your tribe.
And your vibe attracts your tribe.
Hey, babe.
Failure is often seen as a very taboo topic, yet it's an inevitable part of the journey to success. So how do you view failure, and how have your failures contributed to your growth and achievements?
You have to just remember it's part of the process. For babies to walk, they've fallen so many times. But the cool thing about babies, they're not told you, oh, you'll never walk. They don't even have the capacity to even think that they would never walk. They're going to keep going. They could scrape knees, bump heads, hit doors. They're going to continue to go because they have such a pure desire. No one else is interfering with that ability, and everybody's cheering them on. Come on, baby, you can do it. Come on, try one more time. Come on, come to mama. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if we could just kind of look at one another as just, hey, you can do it. Come on, get back up, hit that door. But, and hearing other people say it's part of the process. You're not going to get around it. You will have things that will come up and that will happen. You continue to just push forward. You trudge forward like you tread, like you're treading through snow or something. I say snow because I'm in Chicago.
Yeah.
Walking through that snow, I remember, boy, we will walk, we will press.
Yeah.
Keep going. You just keep going. You keep going. And don't look at it like, I failed. Don't speak those words to yourself. It's just a thing. It's just an incident. It's a moment. It's an event. Things happen. You just keep going.
I think the only failure is when you give up. That's failure.
That's when you throw in the towel and you're like, no, I'm done.
But I love that you brought up the fact about babies, because what happens as we've learned in life, as we grow older, that determination, that willingness to just keep going, and the thought that as babies, as you said, babies don't even have a thought that they can't do it. It gets conditioned out of us by society, by parental, by all these contributing factors. It gets conditioned out of us, and we need to change that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we can. And I've been very intentional. That is one of my words. I've been very intentional with our son. You can't tell him he can't do, you can't. It's not even part of his vocabulary. But you have to be so intentional with who's speaking into your child. And you see it a lot. I have some of his friends even. Their moms are like, I can't get through to my kid. I'm like, he's 11. Or 10, but a lot of it is something may have happened that may have been said to that child that they don't have the intelligence to even put it where it needs to be to block it out. Something that was said, and now they've internalized it. And then you hear it one day at an event.
Yeah.
And you're like, when I was 9, my teacher told me I could never sing. Now I'm a Grammy Award winner. You know? But you hear it, but just being intentional. And you can't keep your child in a bubble.
Right.
But you can teach them what to do with anything. Information, experiences, where to put it. Don't let it define you. Just put it where it needs to be. It's just a moment. It's okay. Keep it moving. My son plays chess, and he has this shirt that says, I don't lose. I either win or I learn.
That is brilliant. That's it.
That's it for life. For life.
That's powerful.
You win or you learn.
There is no losing.
There's no losing. What does that look like?
I love that.
What does that look like? When COVID happened and the kids were out of school and people were like, I don't want my child to be behind. And now that we're like homeschooling our son, people are like, well, what if he's behind? I said, compared to what? Behind who? Behind what?
Yeah.
What are you saying?
Yeah.
Come on now. So we get to choose all of these variables and where we put stuff and who's at the top. And top of what?
Yeah.
I'm not a singer, but there's things that I'm at the top of. People that can sing, people that can, do all types of things. They're at the top of their game.
Yes.
But they don't have to be at the top of what I do. Everybody has their thing, and you come here with it.
That's it. I love it.
Don't get me excited, Brad. You're going to have me.
I love it. This is awesome. So how do you then, with you and James, your husband, being so busy with your careers and your businesses, how do you find time to homeschool?
Everything. Every day is school.
Life is school.
Life is school. Man, every moment, like we're so locked in, Brad. We are so locked in. Every moment is a teaching moment. And my son, he knows that. He could be doing whatever. I'll call him. And if I needed to measure this rug for the bathroom, life skills.
Yeah.
Look, I need to get this rug. I need to know what size I need to get. Let's measure this out. What better way to teach measurements than to put you in a situation where you need to measure, right? This is what we need to do. And he was right on top of it. Okay, because he asked me a question. He not gone to school before, right? Mm-hmm. This is the second year that we've homeschooled. And he said, Mom, I just want to know. I want to know, what do I need to know for my life? This is like a grown man in a little boy's body.
Yeah.
And now he's like growing. So now it's like a grown man in a almost grown man's body. And he's like, I want to know, what do I need to know for my life? What do I need to know for life? He said, going to school, I'm reading these books talking about Larry's magical carpet ride and magical adventure. He's like, how is that going to help me? I want to read something that matters. And I was like, I'm like, who is this kid? What? He's a lot of fun. But he asks those questions that will have you stumped, that people just go and say, well, that's just how it is. He's just, no, you can't just tell him anything. But I love that. Like, that's how most of us are. But we just take stuff in. Well, I guess that's just how it is.
And that's right. That's what we say. Well, I am the way I am because of this. That's all there is to it. Right. No, you can be whatever the hell you want. And
clearly, in any way, form, fashion, happy, sad, whatever. Mm-hmm. And I'm not talking about, of course, the titles, right? You can go and apply for stuff and other people approve it based on their idea of what they think it looks like. But, I mean, just the things that matter. Happy, joyous, sad, depressed, like you get to choose. I remember I brought my son something and I was like, only because he likes green, right? So it was like this bracelet with these green, it had crystals. And nothing against people that have crystals or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and it says that it helps you in competitions. It was a specific type of crystal, right? I bought it from a lady supporting her business.
Yeah.
My son looked at me and was like, I choose my energy. I don't care what bracelet you put on.
Oh, wow.
I was like, you're right. I was like, but I got it because it's green. You like green. But I choose that. He was like, you too. Everybody chooses that. Now, if a person feels because they put this on, they'll be happy and winning competitions.
Yeah.
Then that will work for them. Word. But you choose. Just like that.
That's a mic drop moment right there.
Mic drop moment.
I love it. That's incredible. But that comes from who you and James are as parents, what you're teaching him, what values you are instilling in him. This is where it comes from, right? He sees and he's modeling what you are showing him.
That's it. And giving him the freedom to learn, the freedom to choose, as opposed to me saying, no, this is what you need to think. This is how you need to think. And this is, no, everything is just like a guiding.
Yeah.
Like it will allow him just to be who he came here to be.
I love it. Gratitude and reflections are very powerful practices for fostering success as well and well-being. How do you incorporate gratitude and reflection into your daily routine, and what benefits have you experienced as a result of that?
Brett. Every moment is a moment of gratitude. I know it sounds like I like live in this little happy bubble, but I choose that, you know what I mean? Because we all can, right? Yeah. But just in everything. 2 years ago, it's coming up on 2 years now, I lost my dad. My parents were together almost 51 years. And so I've always had him around. And so in those moments, even when I'm feeling like, but I think of something that he's done, even in those moments, I'm just gratitude to have had him. And so, and that applies to anything in life. But that was one that's most recent that I still kind of, because this helps me. I'm like, Daddy. And I talk just like he's right there. And so every moment is gratitude. I don't have to stop to show gratitude. And it's whatever works for a person. So for me, I don't feel like I have to go and I'm in what I call my sanctuary room. Everything is pink and glittery. You know what I mean? That's just how we roll. But I don't feel like I have to be in any particular posture or nothing routine. Just, man, every single day when I'm eating. Of course, I bless my food before I eat, but I'm grateful. If it's good, I'm going to sit there and close my eyes with every chew. That's gratitude.
Yeah. Gratitude for the smallest things.
Man, everything. Big or small. Man, with everything, whether you're looking at the creation through a microscope or a telescope, it's all a miracle. It's just all beautiful. If you choose that, right?
It's all about that, though. It's
everything,
about the mindset
everything
and choosing. But there must have been some, I mean, when your dad passed 2 years ago, there had to be sadness there and a heavy heart. And so How did you pull yourself out of that? Like, how long did you stay in that before you thought, okay, Kara, no, we can't stay there.
It's, of course, when it first happened, it was hard to find, but you look for it. You look for it because you want it. Like, I did not want every Father's Day to be feeling like, oh, Jesus, or his birthday or the anniversary. He actually passed away on my birthday.
Wow.
He passed away on my birthday. I feel like that's just another connection, though.
Yeah.
It's just a whole nother connection. So I chose in those moments, and I continue to build on that. Now, I could choose on the flip side that every Father's Day to put myself in this situation, or on my birthday to, I just want to be alone. Yeah. You keep moving. I can't stress that enough. An object in motion stays in motion. An object at rest stays at rest. And you get to choose the feeling that you want to feel. And of course, in my mind, I'm like, oh my God. But then I want to believe that he's still close to me. I want to believe that he's still near me. And he'll have his appearances in my dreams from time to time, or I'll see something that reminds me of him, or a car like the car that he had, because I choose. Once again, I'm going back to the decision to say, okay, that's a sign from my dad. And what I want people to know that none of us are going to be here forever. And you have to mentally and emotionally prepare yourself every single day for anything and understand that. And so when you're with your people, don't take it for granted. Stop acting like we have all the time in the world, because we don't know what's going to happen afterwards. We might have a party out in the afterlife. No. So when you are with your people, because you don't know when the last time would be. We used to go to our family reunion every single year. And when I remember that last year, it must have been about 8 years ago, where everybody was there, the whole family. And before we knew anything, COVID happened. And now we're like missing a lot of people. And that's not just me. Everybody has experienced this. Yeah. And I realized that too. Everybody has lost somebody. So extending that level of grace to somebody else and just saying, I know you've been through something. We've all been through something in these last couple of years. But we didn't know at that time that would have been the last time that we were all together like that. No. You don't know. How can you know? Yeah. And that's why when you're with people, you make it a point to just show them love, give them hugs, leave them with an impression that they can't deny. Leave them with love, joy, call it positivity. Just leave them with a part of you where they're like, man, this person is just pretty dope. Right. And those are people I like to be around too, where I'm just like, every time I'm with this person, like we dance like there's no tomorrow. We dance like no one's looking. When we're just having a ball, because that may be the last time. Can't say, well, next time we'll have a good time. No, we're going to have a good time every time. That's it. Multiple times. We're just going to have a lot of times of a good time. Period. Okay? Because things can happen that can drag you down, and you do not want to go down into that rabbit hole. Because once it starts spinning and you start going, it can be non-stopping before you looking up saying, how did I get here? You have to be intentional to stop it. Stop it in the beginning. Refocus. Retrain your mind. Be grateful. Go eat some ice cream. Eat something that makes you happy. Go watch a good movie. Be around a kid, a baby. Go to the park. Like, just bring something up. Just do you.
I love it.
I don't play them games. You come to me.
No, you don't. That's for sure.
We are not doing that. I know what it feels like to feel like you got to come out of it. Yeah. Once again, that's a personal decision where you feel like, okay, I had my moment of being dragging and feeling woe is me, because guess what? The world keeps going. And I don't want to make it sound like nobody cares, but people are trying to keep afloat themselves. Yeah. You can't put that on anybody else to say, hey, I need you to help me stay afloat. No, people are like, look, I can help you if you're helping yourself. But if I come and we have a conversation, or I'm helping you and you steady trying to pull me down, come down here with me. Now both of us are in the pit. No.
That's not good for anybody.
No.
Definitely not. As mentioned earlier, you're the owner and founder of Life by Kara. Can you tell us all about all the things Life by Kara, when you founded it, what the brand and company is all about, and the inspiration behind starting it?
Yeah, thank you. So it was birthed during COVID. We just started talking about that because that became like the whole uniform, hoodies and leggings, jogging pants. Everybody got comfortable. And so as a scientist, I'm wearing
I love it.
Life by Kara shirts. And it's like a tracksuit. And you see like the flowers here. Yep. This is just for abundance. It's like the tree of life. This is for the light that shines within each of us. And then this is life. So that's live in full expression. There's a water drop here, right? Because everything in life needs water, everything. And there's a key, because keys give us access. I always have a thing with my keys. I'm wearing keys now. Everyone knows that. I love keys. To get in your house, you need keys.
Yeah.
For some people, to get out, they need keys.
Yeah.
Keys for everything. And you see people, they write about it. Keys to this, or give you access. But we always have access. Mm-hmm. We are the access. Everything that we need is within us. So we are the access. And you have to just believe that I have the access. Everything about me was me before I became me. Before I even knew that I existed, it was a part of me. Everything. So you have it. You have it. And sometimes that's by being around people, they help tap in and pull it out. They help you to pull it out. They help to see something in you that sometimes you don't see in you. And they help to pull it out. They speak into your greatness. And then there's my name, Kara. And of course, Kara is, it goes with life. Mm-hmm. So you have life through your knowledge. That's the K. Your awareness. That's the A. Your relationships. And your agreements. We agree with people all the time. And when people say, well, I can't leave my job, that's your agreement. But if you feel like I can leave, I just have to figure it out, that's your agreement. We make these agreements and don't even realize it. And it's part of it, right? So that was the whole thing behind that.
Amazing. I love it. I did not know that all the pieces of Life by Kara. So thank you for sharing that. I love it. That is amazing.
Thank you.
You didn't talk about that in Vegas. So at least I don't remember you talking about it in Vegas. I know you were wearing the tracksuit.
Right.
You had your hula hoops and you're doing your thing.
Right. That's that mind, body, spirit. I may have touched on it a little bit.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You've shown us the book, and I mentioned at the beginning that you are an author. I would love for you to speak a little bit about the book you've written. And I know you've participated in a bunch of multi-author books too, but I'd rather focus on the book that you wrote. Tell us about that. What was it like for you sharing your story and putting that out into the world?
Amazing. When you start digging, you start bringing up stuff, you're like, wow, yeah, that did happen. And it was a process I've gone through. I think I have 3 publishers for the same book. One of them had my content and they wanted to dumb it down, which I understand why. They said, well, most people read at a 3rd grade level. I get that. But maybe this content isn't for the 3rd grade level reader because you just literally extracted all of my content and dumbed it down where I don't even want to read it. I was like, where's my stuff? And they were like, well, it was kind of too scientific, but it wasn't too scientific. Okay. I had one of the ladies purchase my book and she said, I could not wait to find you, to talk to you. She's had a portion of her brain removed through surgery. She was hit by a train. And she said that she was able to read and complete the book. And she said, I've not read a book since before my accident.
Wow.
And it's been years. So the cadence in my book, I was very intentional. I actually had the one who actually helped me to publish it and get everything out was a musician. Okay. And he said that everything has a cadence, even when you read. So the cadence is there in the book. So that when you read, and all of it, of course, is my content, but putting it in the right places where is one thing leads to the next. Sometimes you pick up a book and you can't finish it because you're like, something. I have books like that. I started them and I'm like, for some reason, I just can't get through this book. Yeah. Great content, but it's just like a lot of walls. But with mine is like one of those books that you pick up and you just, is one thing lead to the next and it's smooth. Like you get the content, it's wow. And I'm not saying it because it's my book. I'm not. But a little bit, but I've read my book and I know what it's like, which is why it took me those 3 iterations. Cause I was like, For the second time, I was like, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling it. The book was completed. Manuscript in hand. I was like, nope, that's not me. That's not me. So here we are with this, unlocking the blueprint of intention. And of course, there's intention and unlocking, of course, you see the keys to governing your greatness with science. And the cool thing is these are things that even if you've never heard the terminology, I use stories to actually bring it home where you could connect to the stories because of maybe your own upbringing or some things that have happened in your life where you're like, oh, that's what that means. Oh, that's why I'm stuck. Oh, that's why I need to. It's about energy and water and so many different things just about life. That I swear I could read this book over and over.
Well, we will put the link for the book in the show notes for sure when your episode comes out. Love it. Love it. Thank you for sharing that, Kara. You and your husband, James, founded the nonprofit organization Already Always Amazing. Can you share with us about the organization, when you founded that and what the inspiration behind that was?
Yes. So that was in 2017. And let me tell you, my husband and I, we would always say, you're amazing. And he'll say, no, you're already amazing. And I say, you're always amazing. So that's where we have Already Always Amazing. But our focus and our mission is for children, seniors, veterans, and women to just help bridge the gap. Because what we learned is that there are a lot of people who have the resources and there are organizations, and sometimes they don't connect. They don't talk. There's no bridge. There's a gap. And many of the organizations operate in silos, and they're just trying to figure it out and trying to pull the pieces together. So we bridge that gap, and we bring the people who need the resources with the people who have the resources, and we make that happen like that. So we've done so many different things. We've helped children write books.
Amazing.
So that they can rewrite the narrative of their own story, especially for the children in Chicago. You know, many times people tell you what your story is going to look like. You from Chicago, or you from the hood, you know, and you only know what you see. You can't be what you can't see. And many of them, what they see is everything is broken, run down. And that's what a lot of what changed my life. Hearing that I could make a difference in traveling. When I started traveling, I was like, oh my God, there's a whole world out here that's so much bigger than the South Side of Chicago. Right? But it was exposure. So one of the things that we've done, like for the children who finish their books, we give them an all expenses paid trip to Disney World. And they, with the chaperone, all expenses paid, and with the per diem.
Holy crow.
Because you can't be what you can't see. So they see something different. And many of them, they've never been on a plane. They've never been in a hotel. These different experiences to give them that. And you just be amazed. You open up, it's almost like a light bulb goes off. It's like an epiphany. And for not just for the children, but for the parents too. And giving them those experiences. And even like during COVID, one of the things that we did was to feed seniors, because a lot of them couldn't get out.
Yeah.
Some of them, they couldn't get to the grocery stores, and they were just in their homes. So instead of waiting on the government to push through these grants and all of that, we would send them food.
Amazing.
I mean, I'm talking about the good food, you know, not the frozen meal.
Yeah. Real food.
Real food, home cooked. Like many of them was like, what? And that was just out of pocket. During COVID, some people, businesses perished, ours thrived.
Yeah.
We did really well. And so we had to give back.
That just speaks volumes as to who you and James are as human beings and people.
Thank you. Thank you. Of course,
amazing work.
The women and the veterans. So it's always making those connections, making sure that they have the resources that they need, because
not everyone is as fortunate as some, right? So we have to give back. That's, again, I think that's part of why we're all here too, is to give back and help and support and lift and cheerlead each other. We all need that.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah.
How has your journey then in the philanthropic world influenced your personal growth and perspectives on societal challenges, and what transformations have you experienced as a result?
There's so many different things. I mean, I'm just reflecting just on my life. And even it's been said that a person may forget something that you've said. They may even forget something that you've done. Maya Angelou. And she said, but they would never forget how you made them feel. And sometimes, honestly, people aren't even looking for a handout. Many times they are comfortable. A lot of people are, but they want to feel special. And once again, speaking life into a person, even though it's not, hey, you need to get off the street, or you need to, they leave people alone. And you see it a lot. People want to go over to other countries, and sometimes they're like, look, you trying to bring all of this over here. Who said,
we didn't ask for that.
But it's like some of they're chilling, like they have their way of doing things. So many times, if you just share your heart with a person, allow a person to share their heart with you, or to share their story, or to just talk, you'll be amazed at how the simplest little thing, simplest conversation, that would change a person's life. And so I've had many encounters like that, even just talking to homeless people. What do they call them now? They're not homeless, they're unhoused. Last I checked, that's the same thing.
Unhoused, yeah. Unhoused, homeless, yeah, the same thing I would think, but okay.
Nomenclature, they let him be right, and he kept trying to get everybody's attention. Excuse me, and people were like, and I stopped, and I was like, "What's up?" Just downtown Chicago. He said, "I don't want any money," and just let me know then. Everybody with their hand out. He wasn't. He said, "I'm just trying to get people attention." He said, "I just want to talk."
Wow.
And I said, "Isn't that something?" I said, "All right, what you want to talk about?" And he said, I was having this discussion. He said, I just have one question. Do you trust me? Oh, man, we talked for 3 hours off of that one question.
Wow.
That one question. I said, well, it depends. Right? I trust you enough to stand here and have a conversation with you. I don't know you enough to bring you to my house. So trust, everything has its variability, right? And I'm coming from a quantum standpoint because there's this hand and this hand, but there's everything in between, right? So I'm like, you can't just present me with a question. Oh, we went deep. I said, you can't just present me with a question and tell me it's black or white that I have to answer yes or no, because there's so many other variables in the middle. Yeah. Right. And so we laughed about it, and it was just very interesting. But that being said, that was a pivotal moment for me to let me know that everybody's not looking for, can I have $1? Can I have He wanted dialogue. He wanted to have a conversation. And come to find out, he used to work for a computer company. He had come up with a different way of doing things, like an invention, and they wanted to take it from him and say that it wasn't his. And so he wanted to get fired from the job, and he wound up on the streets. And I was just like, what? Just hearing this story. Yeah. Right. So having that philanthropic and just having the heart for philanthropy. And it doesn't always have to be associated with an organization. Sometimes it's just being present for a person, and what are the
kindness, human kindness. It's so simple.
It's so simple.
But as you said, he was standing there and all these people are just walking by. They're going about their business and they're head down and focused on where they're going and not paying attention. And all this man wanted was just to talk to someone. Something so simple.
So simple, right? I was like, whoa. So that was pivotal for me. That was life-changing. That just let me know people just want to be seen. And people just want to be heard, period.
What do you think your unique skill set or superpower is that's helped you become successful?
My personality.
That's for sure.
I just look at people as, man, we're here for a flicker. We're here for a stint. Yeah. And as people make mistakes, and having that heart to forgive and extend grace towards a person, right? And to help them to see past that and just extend that. People do things and they say things, and some people will carry it to their grave. Like, I'm never talking to this person ever again. Man, look, it's all good. I mean, I might not be like, hey, we're chummy. Yeah. But I don't harbor it. And people need to stop harboring pain and hurt and sadness for something that happened eons ago, because it's going to manifest in your own body and take root and become sickness and illness and all of these, diseases and different things like that. So being able to extend grace and see a person as just, they're all good. Seeing them as just another person that's, hey, we all want to win. We all just want to win, whatever that looks like. And I don't get to choose what winning is for you. You don't get to choose what winning is for me. We let's just live and be happy and just get along. Like that's it's really that simple. But we've been taught otherwise to be competitive and all this other stuff.
But this boggles my mind. I think about this quite a bit, is the fact that we can't wrap our heads, as the human race, we cannot wrap our heads around, for the most part, about being kind to one another. It doesn't cost you something. As you said, you stopped and chatted with a gentleman for 3 hours. You spent your time. It cost you 3 hours of your day. So what? You changed the trajectory of that man's day. It could be something as simple as a smile. Smile at someone and say, hello, how are you? It could be that simple, but we can't grasp that. It doesn't cost you anything to be nice to somebody.
But some people, they're dealing with so much. They're heavy themselves. And that's why you and I, we have to be the ones. We have to be the beacon of light, the beacon of hope, because we get that. We know that. So when we have those moments, it's not to say that we can't dwell in it, but we know that we get to choose. Like, we have an understanding and a level of, it's not even intelligence, it's a level of humanity, a level of where we know that we get to choose. So yes, we may have those moments, but when we're around people that are like having those moments, we get to choose to smile. Yeah. Right? Yeah. There's a saying that says, if I treat a man as he is, he will remain as he is. But if I treat him as he could be, he will become what he should be.
I've never heard that saying before. Love it.
See? So if I just keep, it's just, hey, no, I'm going to treat you like I'm going to smile at you, even though you're not smiling at me first. Yeah. It's okay. And I've even had people say, I haven't had anybody say good morning to me all day or say hello to me all day. And I'm just like, what is wrong with you? And they're like, thank you. And I'm like, it's all good. Because one day, 100 years from now, we won't be here. What world are we leaving behind? What are we leaving behind?
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
It depends. We get to choose. I think it's being able to get up, to be in a position where you can choose what you want to do. And in choosing what you want to do, you're happy doing it. You find joy in doing it, which means that you're doing what you're called to do. You're impacting lives from what you get to do, that you'll do it whether you get paid or not. and that you're not stressing, like you're going through life really smooth. To me, that's it. And for everybody, it looks differently. I've seen people that most people would say they're really happy. Like, I would think that this type of person wouldn't even be happy. I'm like, what? Based on what you think they need to do in order to be happy, and you over here stressed out. Chilling. Like, they're successful. There was a guy, I think you may remember him, the man with the golden voice. And everybody wanted to throw all of this stuff at him, put him in a house and give him all of these opportunities. And he was like, that's not what I want. That didn't define success for him. He was like, no, that for me, that is not my world. That is not what I want. See, we always feel, let me superimpose what I see as over on top of you. But if you're waking up every day and you're peaceful and you're enjoying what you're doing, I just think that's unmatched.
What would you say is one of the most important things you've learned in your life? And what was your life like before you learned it? And what was your life like after learning it?
One of the most important. Just one. Well, one of the important things that I've learned is that our environment dictates so much. And I learned this when I was in school. I would see it growing up, and it was like, one block was like working class. Everything was cool. Everybody kept their grass cut. You go a few blocks over, it was what happened here. So you have pockets in Chicago. And you would see it, and it was like, well, what makes the difference? What's going on with their grass? They're not that far away. What happened? It's taking care of your environment, right? And your environment will take care of you. And so when I started to understand, there's this one law that I learned in geography in college. It's called Tobler's Law. That all things are connected, but those things that are nearby are more like those things that are near it. And it doesn't just apply with as far as like the grass, but it applies towards people. You go in certain communities, everybody in that community is pretty much driving like the same kind of cars.
Yeah.
It's because we have the mirror neurons and we kind of emulate what we see. And so when I started to understand that, I knew that I had to change my environment. That changed my life. I knew that it wasn't just for me, but it was also for my son. I don't want you to mirror what we see.
Yeah.
I remember one time literally coming home from preschool because I was pushing them in the stroller. We hear gunshots on my block. Judges, professors, doctors on my block. A few blocks over. And I remember him raising up and saying, Mommy, what was that? And I was like, nothing. You will not get used to that. And I knew then I have to. This is non-negotiable. I have to move him out of this environment. And once again, it goes back to Tobler's Law. You start to emulate, and those things that are near are more like those things that are just near. And so I knew right then, and I've told him that story, and he is just so grateful. He's like, Mom, but he was like, because you adapt. And he told me that. He was like, it was like, you have to adapt to your environment, even as a boy. Different schools I've had him in when he was in school. And he was like, had I stayed in that school, I would have had to adapt. And he was coming home with an attitude, angry. I'm like, who is this? I was like, You didn't leave like that. And eventually he came back when he understood, and he was like, I would have had to adapt to be like those kids because you don't want to be an outcast. But how many parents are listening to their kids and saying, it's rough, and if I stay here, I have to become a part of this, right? So
that's a big one for sure.
It's huge.
What is one thing you know now that you wish you knew when you first started your entrepreneurial journey?
I would say that there's so many different things, but I looked at every day as, okay, I was able to take it one step at a time because my husband, he was already an entrepreneur for many years. So I was able to see what it took to be a successful entrepreneur. But if it was one thing that I felt like that I wish I'd known, that I would say having a team. And my husband would tell me all the time, you're doing this. And I'm like, well, yeah, it needs to get done. And he's like, you don't have to be the person doing it. And we've gone back and forth with that about different things, like things around the house. You don't need to be doing it. And I'm like, because I'm just used to, well, I can do my own, I'm back to my own floors, And he's like, yeah, you don't need to do that. But to hand that off to somebody else who's actually, like you said, to give them an opportunity because they get paid. This is their business. To do these things for other people so that they can do what they do best. So I would say starting out, that would be the one thing I'd say, this is what you do? Yeah, come do it.
Come on in.
Right, come on in. Let me do what I do. I would definitely say that.
What would you say is one of your biggest failures or teachable moments, and what did you learn from it?
Biggest teachable moment. So I mail out my own stuff, right? As far as my hula hoops, my garments. And it was an oversight. I allowed something to auto-populate and shipping out some products. And it went, that auto-populate took it somewhere else. And I'm calling my customers, I never got my package. I was like, that's weird. But just the oversight in that moment. And anyway, that auto-population, it wound up going. So it's somewhere different. So I would say, even though a lot of the systems, being able to go back in and look at the system to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do.
Yeah.
Because some of the systems, it is garbage in, garbage out. You put in the wrong thing. And that's with any of the systems, because there's a lot of systems.
Oh, yes.
And so many people are like, well, here's this new system and this new system. Find a system that works for you and know what you need to do with or without that system.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things for me. It was like, I wanted to just automatically went somewhere else. You know?
Where it shouldn't have been.
But I laughed about it. I laughed at first. I was like, what? Let me call the post office. And I'm like, I was like, it's a thing.
Yeah, it happens.
You know, don't get all worked up over a thing.
Yeah.
Just fix it. So that's what I did. But that was pretty interesting.
What does the word empowerment mean to you, Kara?
Man, it's allowing what's in you to come out and seeing it in other people. I want to just see the beauty in everybody. You know?
I know.
And that's a choice. Instead of, it's more about, everybody's talking about, it's more about collaboration and competition. And all of that sounds good, but still, all in all, it's really just applauding other people, which when I'm around people that's doing amazing things, I'm like, this is pretty dope. Wow, look at what, it's amazing. But it goes back to, once again, being around people that are movers and shakers, people that are doing things, people that can uplift and empower, where you can see it and just be like, it's both ways. It's reciprocated. Every level, and you're helping each other elevate. And that's why some people look at it and seem like everything you all do is just, you're just going to another level, because we're taking each other to another level. Like, it's intentional. You can't do it if you're not around people that's, hey, it's a let's thing. Let's go. Let's do. So it's very important. So empowerment is personal, but what comes out is it extends to everybody else, but you're also helping them to be empowered, which extends back to you.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, we're going to jump into a rapid fire section here. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3, 4-word answer type thing. Okay.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
What is one of your favorite quotes?
Oh, Lord. Water takes the path of least resistance.
All right. What is one thing you want but cannot buy with money?
Oh, just continuing to have peace.
If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Kindness.
How would you describe yourself in one word?
Dope.
Oh, that shit. I love it.
Right.
What is one thing you love about yourself, Kara, that is not related to your physical appearance?
Attitude of gratitude, happiness, joyous. I love to dance. So that comes from the inside.
What is your favorite self-care practice?
Oh, I love to get massages.
Yeah. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I have one question that I created after I sent the questions to you. I call it a bonus question, I guess. So if you could take one feeling or a belief and bottle it and give it to someone, give it to people, what would it be?
Peace. I think that's the North Star. People do so many things just to have peace.
If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Probably, what is it like to be a mom? Something about motherhood.
Okay. What is it like to be a mom?
Or a parent. I feel like we need to stop trying to teach our kids everything and actually allow who they are to shine, to come out and just be their guide for children, because that's how we will make up the next generation, the future. I don't want to say better, because I feel like each generation is what it needs to be, but for them to have a more fulfilling future with one another. I want my son to have a fulfilling future with other children that are also well-rounded, that are free to learn, free to think, free to be, versus a lot of people dealing with a lot of stress, a lot of kids on a lot of medication, mental illnesses on the rise, because a lot of people feel trapped.
Yeah.
And you hear a lot of people now saying, I'm going through my healing process. And I was like, what is everybody healing from? What is going on? What happened? What happened? And I get it. So if I could bottle something and bring all of that back full circle, it would be just allowing the next generation just to be smooth, be easy. Don't be easily where you just like easily offended. Allow others to be, allow yourself to be, allow the kids to be. I get so much fulfillment. This boy teaches me so much because I've allowed it. Yeah. I haven't told him what he needs to know, what he must know, or anything like that. Everything is a teachable moment. So for the parents out there, not just moms. Man, allow your kids to be free. Don't shut them down. Don't shut them off. Don't crush their spirit. Don't let them have to heal from having you as a parent.
Yeah.
And just give them the room to grow. Frederick Douglass says it's better to build up strong, he said men, but I would say children. It's better to prepare and to build up strong men than to repair broken men.
For sure.
So instead of going down that path, just allow them to be strong going in.
What is your why?
Life. It's not one thing over the next. All of it is, you can't separate it. You know, mind, body, spirit is just, that is my why. My life, your life, everybody else's life is just life. As long as I'm here, what are we doing?
If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
Both of my grandparents, my grandmothers. I would want to know about my parents when they were growing up.
Yeah.
I just want to know. I can kind of tell by looking at pictures and how my dad was and how my mom is. But I would just love to just have those conversations and just to know what was that like to raise them. If
you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Just keep going. Of course, not feeling like you have to appease people, that those people who are for you will be for you, and those people who are not, they won't. But I eventually learned that. And it's a good thing to know.
Yeah.
And the sooner you learn it, the better. But yeah, you don't have to appease people. If people aren't like rocking and rolling with you, don't rock and roll with them. And they have that right. It's okay. It doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make them a bad person. It's just, hey, out of billions of people in the world, you don't have to harbor on that one person. So yeah. I would say that.
Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your tribe, your people, your corner of the world, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Man, just continue to be amazing. Remember that all of us, we're 70% water. Remember that everything that you say resonates with the water in your body, and it gives off a frequency. And to just know that we are energy encapsulated in a earth suit. And so start looking at the spirit of another human being and treat people the way that you want to be treated. I think those golden rules have kind of gone out the window. And continue to empower and uplift people, and know that people come from a place. When people do certain things that are uncouth or that we don't understand why with this person, it comes from a place. If you start to look at people like that and just understand that, you will start to treat people with a different level of appreciation, that you would see people as another human being that's just want love and respect, and they're trying to figure it out. And you may be the one to help them get there. So keep showing love.
Beautifully said, Kara. Thank you so much. This has been such an incredibly powerful, beautiful, amazing, inspirational conversation. As it always is. Every time I talk to you, I just feel so uplifted and so amazing leaving a conversation with you. So thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today and sharing a bit about your personal story, your journey, and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. It is an absolute honor to have had the opportunity to sit down and share with you and to have you as a member of the Empowerography community.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Brad.
Much love to you, Kara.
Yes, much love to you too. Thank you so much.
Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography Podcast. Today, my guest has been Baroness Dr. Kara Scott Dentley. She is a double scientist turned entrepreneur and success specialist. She is an author, the founder of the lifestyle brand and athleisure wear Life by Kara, and the co-founder of nonprofit Already Always Amazing. And last but certainly not least, a mother. Kara, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca and follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman.